64. Every Mother's Dream. It was 31 May 2019. Daylight burst over the Karoo landscape like a canvas of fire, scattering darkness with vibrant hues. In tandem, my soul stirred. A tapestry of memories unfolded, multifaceted. As I pondered these memories, Keith and I meandered through scenic roads to the picturesque Lanzerac Hotel, a stunning Cape Dutch masterpiece outside Stellenbosch. This iconic hotel's majestic gables, whitewashed facade, and tranquil water features had set the stage for a promising reconciliation between Esther Marie and me. 1,000 thoughts raced through my mind, and memories stormed me. A tumultuous sea of highs and lows, thrills and heartaches. They ravaged my mind, tore through my soul and spirit, crashing their waves against the shores of my consciousness. Relentless, they drove me to forge a new path forward, seeking significance for Esther Marie and me. My thoughts reeled back to the trauma of her 2015 matric year. Henny was a wrecking ball of massive proportion, decimating her. She made a dramatic decision, exchanging netball for sole focus on academics, which rewarded her with a very high matric end result. Another bold choice followed, foregoing her school's matric farewell. "Mom, it's all just for show, dress up and loads of expenses. And then what? It's empty, meaningless. I'd rather not go." My promise to her: "I'm going to reward you for this decision. How about you and me fly to Namibia and retrace Daddy's roots in his country of birth? I owe you that. We'll create beautiful memories before you leave for Netherlands next year." Snapshots of our Namibian adventure burst forth, seared into my soul. A hilarious quad bike ride on the majestic dunes. Savouring oysters and champagne on a leisurely, tipsy boat cruise. Intimate encounters with parrots, pelicans, and flamingos. Soul-crushing flashbacks unfolded like a roller coaster ride through the years. 2016, the euphoria of visiting her in Netherlands. 2017, the focus and determination of her studies. 2018, the crushing blow of divorce trauma. The aftermath of Armageddon. The devastating brokenness. The crippling shatteredness. Remembering her 21st birthday on 18 June the year before. Henny had locked himself away in his section of the house, and I was denied access to her photo albums. Despite the strange circumstances, I yearned to craft something extraordinary for her birthday, a celebration of her blossoming into adulthood, a precious gift inscribed on the deepest fibers of my mother's heart. Buried treasures of her life resurfaced as I excavated snapshots from the depths of my computer. Forgotten moments re-emerged, chronicling her journey from infancy to young adulthood. Hours of online searching for the perfect melody culminated in Every Mother's Dream, a hauntingly beautiful song that echoed my soul's longing. With trembling hands and a heart overflowing, I painstakingly synced each lyric to a visual portrayal of her growth. Tears cascaded like winter rain down my face. Her story unfolded. Memories swirled, a kaleidoscope of emotions. My heart bled with every note, and each frame held a piece of my shattered soul. The melody became my lament, a symphony of love and longing. In that day, time stood still, and all that existed was the ache of love, the sting of longing, and the beauty of memory. Our relationship was already severely strained, but I had hoped this gesture would mend the shattered mirror of our trust. Her birthday dawned, and I sent the video, hoping for heartfelt gratitude. The response? A polite thank you. Her brevity pierced my soul, more sharply than I dared confess. Then my thoughts careened towards her disappearance with the car and the phone. The disregard, the disrespect, feeling her trauma, her pain, torn between forgiveness and forgetting, my heart lacerated. I'd already lost one child. Do I really want to lose the other one as well? Wasn't there a shimmer of hope? At least she was prepared to meet with me. Her brother was not. Confronting my own inner darkness, my shadows, the ruins inside my own soul, my seeming inability to forge an unbreakable connection with my two children, like some curse. Thinking of all my attempts at growing, evolving, maturing, yet still falling short, failing, cycles repeating, and me, a small boat adrift in a stormy sea. Then again, my inner resolve, my inner compass pointing unwaveringly to my true north, unshakable, powerful, strong, unwavering. Remembering my hypnotherapy session with the 52 wolves. Where are my children? Why can't I see them? Souls are souls. Everything is okay. They're free, unencumbered by human burdens. I'm free too, no longer bound by fear and doubt. Then, at that moment in the caddy, as the sun spilled its first rays over the majestic mountains behind us, Keith the catalyst, in action, powerful, strong, throwing me a lifeline. Apologize, he whispered gently. Relieve her burden. Set yourself free. His words were oxygen. I inhaled deeply. The notion of Esther Marie and me engaging in a senseless mind discussion, you said, I said, you didn't, I did, you wrong, I'm right, reeked of Henny's toxic legacy. I was desperate to set us free. I snatched the lifeline with every shred of strength. I clung, reborn. As the sun boldly crested the mountains and claimed the sky, I heard the shackles shatter. I felt the bonds break. My soul released a sigh, and divinity took a breath. As calm descended, my heart dropped a pebble. Its ripples echoed through stillness, a promise of peace.